Hello and welcome to Country Life Simple. Today I'm going to show you a fantastic new bread recipe. It's called Besenlaib, which is a German word which I'm not even going to try to translate. I don't know why it's called that. I did find it from a Swiss baker and it looked so magnificent. I wanted to try it immediately. Normally when I try those recipes, I try them first and then I tape them. But that one turned out so good that I taped it midway. So unfortunately I didn't show you how to make it, but I did show you how it looked like when I took it out of the fridge, because it cold ferments overnight, and then the next day you basically you shape it, you bring it back to room temperature, you shape it, you rest it, and then you bake it in the oven. It's quite a big bread. It's over 1 kilo of bread, and it just, wow. Even hubby, who's, he likes the crust of a bread freshly out of the oven, but he really liked that. He said it had a lot of flavor, and the crust was nice and crispy. The inside was probably not as dense as some of the German breads, and it had a really strong flavor. It was really, really nice. Well, it is still. We still have it. It's on there today, and I baked it yesterday. We still have half of it. It was traditionally developed when people were having like charcuterie boards and the homemade wine in a certain region over in Germany. So it's definitely a recipe to give a go, and it was quite easy to make as well. So I'll show you some of those steps, and I'll show you the finished bread. Hopefully you can join me and try that as well. I reorganized my pantry once again. I did show you in a video of how I organized it last time, and it didn't quite work. There was just way too much stuff still in there. I have been trying to eat out of the pantry as well. In a few videos back I showed you that I'm now trying to only shop once a month for the entire month and do meal prep and just use what I have. Obviously I do have a big freezer, so I do freeze meat and things like that, and vegetables I keep in glass containers and sometimes in airtight glass containers from the Lovell system, or in the reusable vacuum bags from Swilling. They're the two systems I use. I might actually do a video one day about those systems and show you why I like them. So yeah, I reorganized the pantry, and I got rid of, or I started to eat the things which, you see a recipe and you'll think, oh yeah, this sounds good, I really would like to try that. And then you buy the ingredient and you've got it in the pantry for that one time you want to try that one recipe. I now try to, when I do my monthly meal plan, to include a few new recipes and get all the ingredients for that, and then actually make it. Because sometimes we really like it and sometimes we don't. I try not to buy recipes where I only need like a tiny amount and then I have heaps left over and I don't know what to do with it. I definitely try to avoid that. But what I'm trying to have in my pantry is all the items we definitely use all the time. If I do buy something new and, stuff we normally don't use, I try to actually make it straight away. And if we do like it, then it will be stocked in the pantry. And if we don't like it, then we don't. So I'll show you what I've done in my pantry, and maybe you can, get an idea or so. I also reorganized the freezer. I will put that in an upcoming video as well, of how I reorganized my deep freezer. I've got a 500 or maybe 700. I think it actually is a 700 liter freezer. It's massive. I can lay down in it if I would want to, and there could be 3 more people on top of me. So it was always hard to handle, but I'll show you how I reorganized that as well. But first, let's have a look at the pantry, and then let's have a look at the beautiful Besenlaib. Enjoy! So this is my pantry. This is actually the linen cabinet in the old days. This used to be the laundry. It was a very narrow laundry. There was a sink here and the washing machine here and then the dryer here, and it really didn't work for me because this is our main entrance and exit door. We go through there to go to the shed, to the garage, and you know, coming through here with shopping bags while all those machines were standing here was just a nuisance. So we made this into a back entry or front entry or main entry. And then I repurposed the linen cabinet into my pantry because from here I go straight into my kitchen. So this is really handy. So what do I have here? I've got at the top, I've got toilet paper. We do all need toilet paper. I've got a fire blanket, the first aid kit. In the far back, there's some blankets. And then on the right there, there's some stuff to make, there's my finger there, to make deodorant. I shall show that to you in an upcoming video too. And then in the first shelf here, in the far back, I've got all jams. I've got a lot of jams because I do make them myself a lot. Most of them are made by myself. And underneath, this is actually one of those, you know, tier systems from Kmart. And see underneath, I've got more jams there. So I've got the seconds and thirds and all of that from the jams. And then in front of that, I've got another. So I've got one of these things here, one of these shelves, and then put the tier system on top of that so I can see all of my jams. And then in front of that, I put another one of those tier systems, and I've got all of the condiments we use, the mustards and the relishes and the, I don't know, mayonnaise and all of that. A lot of it is homemade. Some of it is obviously bought. But yeah, we do like our sauces, especially hubby. And then here I've got all of my cans. These two, they here because I know hubby wants them soon, and to make it easy for him, I just put them out there for him. But here are all of my cans in this container, which I bought off Amazon. And then I've got one of those because occasionally they have to do some fish. This is for the chickens and the dog, and this is for me for lunch sometimes. Below that, in the far corner there, I've got all the oils and vinegars, some more condiments like cream and chili sauce, larger sort of condiments. I've got a chicken stock and a tea which I need to take to work. In here I've got spices, so it's got, these are two containers, they're from Kmart. They sort of stack nicely on top of each other. I've got spices in here, so all the overflow. I've got some German gravy, and I've got, just spices, pepper and garlic and salt and all of that. Below I have Asian food, so they're mainly rice and noodles and curry bases and these kind of things. Here I've got pasta. We do love our pasta, and we all know what happened during a certain time of the year. I put this here underneath so it's easy enough to move these in and out. And then here in the corner I've got some more sauces for hubby. He loves his sauces. He doesn't eat anything without his sauces. I find them way too sweet, but that's just me. I've got some pickles in here, relishes and pickles, so they're mainly homemade. I've got a big snack container here, so chocolates and chips and biscuits and stuff like that. Baking utensils, and then mainly like the choc chips, custard powders and cocoas and all of that. I've got a large juice there in the corner. And then down here, I used to have my cleaning supplies, but I moved them somewhere else because although these shelves look quite sturdy, I was just too worried about them breaking eventually with all my stuff there. So I've got cleaning overflow in this container here, and cling wrap, baking paper and stuff like that, garbage bags. In here I've got all my mainly tomato stuff, or things I do use with tomato bases. Like I've got the nachos there because if I make nachos, I will use a tomato sauce. Some of these are homemade, some of these are store-bought. And then here I've got all the overflow condiments. So that's anything that's, I can see pickled beetroots and crispy onions and sauerkraut and red cabbage and all kinds of things. So they're all in here. I find this quite handy. Obviously I do keep a lot of my dry goods such as flour and obviously all the meat and a lot of vegetables in the freezer as well. But for me this works quite well, and now I have it labeled. Hopefully it works for hubby too. Although I still put like the pickled onions and the beetroot there for him to see in eye height. So what do you think? Just leave me some comments and give me some tips or, you know, some feedback of what you think of my pantry.